Hey there, I'm Parker X, and I just recorded this, but my microphone messed up, so we're back, and it should be good now. But yeah, lots to cover. Let's just jump into it. This is a daily upload where I go through my AI strategy and I cover some of the news if it is relevant. A lot of time it's not, it's just noise, but let's get into it. So first off, I actually recorded a video earlier today, but I had to delete it because I was basically doxing myself. It was for my wedding, and I wanted to test a bunch of stuff out. I basically recorded the whole thing and then went through all of it and made these markers. And I was like, oh, I'll just blur this stuff out. And I was like, nah, I don't even know if this is that interesting. But what I did do was I copied this guy's stack. His name's Cheyenne, and he makes a product called UserJot and Log Snag. You can check those out. The guy's pretty badass. I like the way he yaps on the internet about the things that he's building. So this is a great excuse to go try some new tech. And built the whole thing about an hour and a half with TanStack router. So if you're used to directory or file based routing, that's what Next is. That's all I've known, both with the Next Pages and Next App router. It's just a little bit different. So in Next, you have app and then prompts and then page and layout. In this case, you actually have one file where you determine all of them, and there's just different ways of doing it. But Vite in this stack just absolutely murders it on speed. And again, I just built something really simple. Just stood up a landing page, but absolutely enjoyed it. It flew. And I know Next has their reasons why it's slow. We want to explain it and all that, but devs don't care. They just want fast stuff. So I'll be definitely exploring these as a stack in the future because I just think it's cool. So I did that, and then the way that I walked through it was just here's all the jobs that need to be done, and I went through and did the setup from scratch, all in Vim. So 15 minutes of that. It was like 13 minutes of design work, making logos, picking out fonts and color schemes and all that, using like coolers.co and using chat.com, ChatGPT, to generate a crest and a color vibe and like a bunch of mockups. And then the page structure took a little bit of time because I just never done it. Getting Shatsian, Tailwind, all these boilerplate things. And then the Taskmaster was the majority of finishing it up. So it's like, hey, we want to have this and that and this and that. And it did a really good job. So if you guys want a video like this, then comment below live builds and I'll do something similar. So I basically just recorded it and I sped it up. So I wasn't actually yapping like I am right now and coding it because it slows me down. And I wanted to knock this out. But I just recorded it and then afterwards I sped it up a little bit and then I talked over it. So if that's something you want to see, let me know. And then on to the Q&A. So I had a really good comment that I had such a good answer for before, but basically on the other channel, this guy said, yo, this is the best thing ever. I'm so happy to see somebody totally nerding out and going into GCP, not just N8N. And I was like, dude, this is the best comment ever. This is why I love YouTube. Because he said, I love this so much. Automation and exploring the GCP infrastructure for us smalls and not using N8N type BS. Suggestion, generate some workflow text files, LLM generated for ease, so we can digest with an LLM ourselves to then get a more detailed playthrough of your processes. Detailed playthrough of your processes. Cool to see this level of geek out, something greatly needed on YouTube. Awesome comment. And I went into it and I basically said, look, like, first of all, awesome, thank you. Second of all, I have this as a task to do. I'm just working through the phases of the content strategy that I outlaid about a month ago, and it's working so far, by the way. Like, if I show you my daily stats, I'm just sticking to the plan. I'm not negotiating it. But you can see I had a school and I made it free. And I was like, I don't want to do this for free. Like, no one even cares. When you join a free one, it's basically like a glorified Facebook page. And I don't plan to be on school forever, but I need to make it paid because then people will care more. I will care more. It just makes the world go round. So that's when I kicked everyone out. It was the first of this month, so about 20 days. And then you just see how it correlates with the amount of marketing that you do. So when I make videos, I get more people in the community, and then we'll eventually transfer over to Vibe with AI, which will be great. And I was actually working on that at the beginning of the video, but it got canceled where I was using augments to debug something because I don't like the way that the RBAC works with one tap. If you're unfamiliar with one tap, if you go to a site like eBay and you're not logged in, but it has a Google session, which most people do, then it'll say, hey, continue as so and so. So that's what I added, and it was causing some issues. So I'm having Augment go and deal with it. But on the point of his question with N8N, what you're trying to learn on like which one to choose, it just comes back to what are you trying to get done and what is your goal. If your goal is to try to print money fast with selling this as a service, then I think it's a great idea to go N8N. But for me, my goal is actually more like, hey, I want to make big impact at scale by helping people through software. And so I look at the hard skills. So I think this is actually a helpful exercise for pretty much anyone. Where it's like, cool, like what do you want to do? What's your goal? If it just like print cash, then you'd go and this kind of goal thing, it like trickles down to everything that you do. So I look at this and I'm like, okay, what are my skills? And I list them out. So it's like, cool. One of my skills is educating people because I've spent a lot of time being the connective tissue between engineers, product managers, non-technical people, sales, ops, marketing, all of those things. I've had to wear every single one of the hats. And that makes me good at like basically putting on a hat for a different audience. Like this is a very technical audience, so I talk a certain way. I don't really slow myself down. But if I wanted to talk to someone on the street, I'm going to be a different person. Not like I'm schizophrenic, but like you tune the message to the right person based on where they are. So I look at the skills. I'm like education, coding, systems. Systems means system patterns, system thinking, system design, and marketing. Like I love all these things because of my different experiences across my professional career. And so for me, it's like, okay, well, GCP, it's going to help me in a lot of ways because it ticks all these boxes where it's like, it's going to be slower for me to get up and running, but I need this thing in order to do this thing. If it all ladders up to that, then I need to use code and I need to use media at scale. And it needs to be really high quality. I would need full customization. And then each time that I go and I work on one of these things, it's going to make me level up on all these things. And then at the end of the day, all these charts, like if this is 1 month, it's going to go bananas if I just do a good job and then I don't negotiate on my goals. So when I look at that, I'm like, okay, it's obvious that if I'm following my interest, because it literally started with me being like, oh, I need N8N in order to accomplish this. But then I mounted a bucket that had a petabyte in it, and I was like, whoa, what else can I do? And I just followed that path. And it's a necessary thing for me to do because right now I'm in phase 2 of this rollout. Phase 1, daily videos. This started about 6 weeks ago. Got that down. Phase 2, add 3 main channels. Did that this week. Missed it the first week. Now phase 3 is shorts. And that's going to be a doozy, right? That's when I need automation because doing this 10 videos a week across a year, 520, right? But then doing shorts where it's like, okay, I need this existing content to get chopped out. And I can't use webhooks because literally no one does it. So do I need to roll something? Not sure. But in that case, phase 3 would be, okay, 3 videos a week. And if I do that across 3.1, which is splitting those 3 across 3 other channels, then what? That's actually 9 a week. And then 9 times 52, 468. So I was hallucinating in that last one. But you're going to be at least 468 on the shorts, probably more. So I don't know. It's a lot of video content. And then from there, you kind of split it out even more. Where it's like you're going to have a terabyte worth of YAP that you can then turn into written format, and it's across everywhere. So in blogs, I'll look at like the href SEO templates, and that would be like a phase 1 is run it through that, and then I do another one which is AI humanizer. And this thing is through Surfshark. I think it's called something Shark, but there's a bunch of services. And so yeah, in order to do all this stuff, like I might find that when I go to use this service that it's actually just this prompt plus another thing. So it's like 2 edge functions. And instead of having another SaaS, I got to learn and I got to roll it myself, and it's just going to be dope. So that's for me why GCP. But if I had a different why and it was just strictly like print, then N8N. But I follow curiosity. I really am a strong believer in Ikigai, Japanese philosophy, where it's like, okay, got these 3 things, these 3 circles. You want to be right here. This is fulfillment. So what are the things that you find fun? For me, I don't find N8N very fun because it's not technically challenging. It's like Fisher Price. And then I have the value. So it's like, am I gaining value, like capturing value? And then skill. So I'm probably like right here in terms of skill on GCP, maybe even like right here. I don't know where it would be. I'm like high here and high here. Basically, I want to be here with GCP, and I'm like 50 hours into doing it. So learning how to learn is actually the skill. That's why you got to use AI. Ask a zillion questions, follow the interest. So that's all. it on the questions. Let's see. Then on to some of the news. So some of the stuff, I was looking at this AI podcast thing, and I went into it, and it probably wasn't that interesting. So I recorded yapping like through this code base. Somewhat interesting, I guess. But what I do is whenever I'm trying to learn something that is in the code world, I try to find other projects. So like this one, for instance, this guy rolled his own version of AI podcasting where it will accept, I went through all the different files, but it'll accept a PDF or a block of text or a MP3 or video, and then it'll turn it into an AI podcast, and it uses 11 labs. So this would just be a cool example because it has a bunch of stars. I think that it's probably pretty good. And then what I do is I just spend about a half hour like digging around in here and asking questions. So literally like, what the hell does this do? Or WTF is a block in this context. And then I understand a little bit better. Like you go and you see like this guy spent a lot of hours. Like his Waka thing for him tracking, like I spent 3 hours 40 minutes across all code bases today. Not very much time, but he probably spent like 50 hours in this thing. So go learn from him. And then I learned, oh, cool, this create project form thing is like pretty important. And these little routes in here, these are pretty important too. Like these are the fundamental things. He uses upload thing for uploading things. So it just saves you a whole bunch of time. And I would then add that like way, way down here where it's like, okay, I've done all this other stuff. We're at like 6,000 pieces of content. Let's add in an AI podcast. Probably wouldn't publish it. Next up is I need to plan out these lessons for Cursor on Vibe with AI. So a lot of people join because they see these Taskmaster videos and they're like, whoa, how do you do that? And I think that a lot of people forget that what they're good at, they find easy and they devalue it. So I find Cursor just super duper easy to use, Taskmaster even easier to use because I was a product manager for so long. And then I've also been an engineer using Cursor since it came out. And I've also been an engineer since using like GPT 3.5 and the AI SDK. Like literally the day it came out, I was like, holy smokes, this is cool. So you forget that there's all this stuff that you know. And that's like a good message for anyone watching this, that if you're good at something, you're going to probably devalue it because it's easy for you. And that doesn't mean that it's not valuable. So what I'm doing now, and I announced this in the school, is basically I'll do like a little mini series, not like a full blown course. It's like, oh, like how do you set up Cursor? How do you do the shortcuts? What about this feature? What about that feature? You know, all the little knickknacks in here that I use to be able to fly, right? So it's like, oh, like these noobs probably don't know that you can do splits, and they probably don't know that you can open it that way, or open it this way, or open it this way. You know, all these things, and it's pretty helpful, right? So even like Vim motions, like I'm getting everybody to use Vim because it's the jam. Sorry, but yeah, I'm going to be doing that. And then even something like this, like, oh, let's open some splits there. Or how do you do these commands? How do you do those ones? And I think people will find that helpful. It'll also go into the extensions. So it's like, oh, this augment thing, pretty helpful. You should use it for debugging, and you should pair it with B1, which is a debugger. It's like, oh, B1, that's the one. You're an incident response engineer. And then boom, you paste in whatever the issue is. It does it. It runs an indexer on it. Probably need to know about containers because if you're not using them, you're not it, dude. You're not that guy. They're just really helpful. And then Klein. So how to use the memory bank if you're upskilling on a new project. Like all these tools are independent right now. Eventually they'll be together, but this is just the markets at work. So Klein, very specific use case for getting product context, tech context, and basically skilling up on something and then getting all these markdown files so that anyone could read them. It's really good at that. It's really good at a lot of stuff like planning too, but I'm kind of stuck to Taskmaster now, to be honest. But yeah, we cover that. We cover Docker. We cover what else do I use? If it's down here, I don't use it, right? But project manager, I don't use. Everyone should know about Git by now. But yeah, I'm excited. That should be helpful. Also, just extensions. There's little things in your settings that people don't realize that like autosave's messing with it. And like, what about this? If there's like a .vs code thing, is that's going to conflict with my linter and yada yada yada. So I'm excited to do those. There's like 15 videos, and they'll all be like 3 minutes because I wouldn't watch a video that was about like a really narrow topic for more than that time. And then lastly, yeah, new version came out. They posted it today as of 420. You have Easter, but It has improved PRD parsing, which means that you can do multiple ones. It adds chain of thought reasoning, which makes that better. And it should be better. What's ironic is that like a week ago, it was better to do a global install, but because it's been an entire week now, you shouldn't do that. So kind of tricky to keep up, but that's just where we're at right now. If you guys have any ideas that I didn't cover in this video that you want my take on, cool. I have infinite content ideas, so I don't need ideas, just to be honest. But I want you guys to be like, "Hey, what's your take on this?" I guess that's the thing in these videos moving forward. Is like, yes, asking questions that you have in here, but like, I love a good hot take. So I'll see you in the next video. Make sure you like the video. It's right there, that little thumb. Look at me, Mr. YouTube, asking for a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.